All right, yogis. Classically, yoga just starts in a seated position. How about we do 1 minute? There's a kind of, I've mentioned it before, a big practice emerging in meditation world. They call it the 1 minute meditation. So you just drop right in, boom. Because you guys are all regulars, so you're applying the cues faster, kind of all at once. You sit up tall, shoulders back and down, head back, eyes closed, still. Just connecting to your body for a moment. So the idea is more, wherever we start, it's more intention, presence, self-awareness in the body, and then it's breath, right? More intention, intelligence, presence with the breath. You know, mindfulness, right? What does that mean? It's just what I mentioned, right? All those different kind of layers of the consciousness. And then as you still your body, become more present, self-aware, focusing your attention inward, you might observe the mind. How are the thoughts and the emotional, energetic self? One of my favorite definitions of meditation practice is practicing the shift from the subjective experiencer to the objective observer. Remember to add any poses you want. It's almost like you're practicing on your own, but I'm just a voice, maybe guiding you in the background. All right? 1 minute meditation is done. Downward dog, please. If you need to do cat cows, that's always good to add, but I'll skip it today. So right to inversion, right? Meditation, right into inversion. Same practice applies, body awareness, presence, mindfulness, self-awareness, but now you're in a more strenuous pose. Lift the sit bones up and back, press the palms down. So if you're just joining, we did a brief seated meditation, and now we're in our first power position, the downward facing dog. I've often tried to express the idea as we flip the body upside down here, you know, the digestive tract, the lymphatic system, the blood flow, the brain, all kind of are starting to be affected in a different way than your normal upright position, or even laying in bed, the lateral position, horizontal. So you notice that about yourself. I can often feel my digestive tract kind of lifting up. Sometimes the organs, right, they kind of sit heavy, stacking atop each other down in the lower pelvic girdle. And that creates certain tightnesses and pinching, and you can kind of feel the abdominal cavity starting to move slightly up towards the chest, thoracic cavity. And breathing deep here into the abdomen can help with that process, right? Having a healthier abdominal cavity. Just, you know, basically looking out for stagnation. Go slow, yogis. Right down to the knees, right up to the knees. This is what I've been working in lately. Okay, cross your forearms, hands on opposite shoulders. I start to go right, left. This is kind of like our cat cow this morning, let's say. Okay, you're including the hips more, and it's not going to be as far a range. It's more active. So my hips go back. It's almost like a child pose. My body goes opposite of the hips. So my upper body, my hips go forward, and I'm starting to draw this kind of core stimulating, circling movement. Now, when in doubt, it's early, you go less, right? If you want a little bit more, you could even include your arms a little bit, but you know, that's more tension. Okay, so I'm asking you to kind of be on your knees and move in the core. Look at this. I could even have my hands here. I say this because it's just a little bit more supportive, but if you want your arms to be moving, move the core, get it all warmed up in here, all right? Don't forget going linear. Look, forward and back is a little safer. traditionally starting forward and back in exercise is considered safer and more beginner. So if I get you right in this turning, I just want you to recognize your condition. You have back pain, maybe you go forward and back, or you go less range, kind of something like this. Look. You got to adapt the practice for your needs, yogis. It's important actually to exercise when your back hurts, but you got to approach it different than when you're feeling good. Okay, you can just do more linear like this too, right? So something on the knees, moving the core. Last few. Everyone knows their body, so just slow down, listen to it. Remember, I like to remind you that wisdom in exercise is the ability to push your body, but also be kind to it. That's tough, right? So you be kind and compassionate and caring, but you also push it and know it's strong. All right? Downward dog, please. Now we want to get the moving forward and back, plank to dog, but I'm going to do the leg lift. This is power yoga. We go strong right in the beginning too, okay? Downward dog. Inhale, right leg goes high. Now you can take a moment here to circle out your hip if you need. I want you to be an artist with your practice. There's no best way on any best day, okay? It's different for all 10 people here. Now you inhale the right leg high. You exhale, shift to plank, knee to forehead. So you literally round and squeeze. That's also like a cat-cow, right? You inhale the right leg back and up. You don't rush. You take your time, but you also move. Right knee to right elbow. You don't bring it too wide, but you bring the right knee to the right arm here as you shift to plank. Then you inhale it back and up, three-legged dog, we call it. Then exhale, you bring the right knee under across to the left elbow. And then you keep going here, breathing and moving. Some of us can do only 3. Some of us might be able to get to 3 to 4 to each center, left and right. This is a really beautiful way to exercise, guys. You're going to get strength, movement, flexibility, your core, hips, open chain, closed chain. It's really, I know it's done a lot in yoga. I don't teach it too much, but it's good, okay? And I try to remind you of that when we do these repetitive type of exercises, all right? Now listen, we're going to go right for it. Right foot's going to step forward. You take more if you want. You're getting your core going, right? You step your right foot forward. I'm going to go back knee down today, okay? Press your feet down. This is our first big back bend, not the cobra. You press your feet down, you lift your heart. Not going to be here long. It's called Anjanasana. 3 more breaths. If you want more, left arm up. If you want a lot, both arms up. Try to press the big toes down. So there's this kind of hugging in, grounding down energy. We're always trying to activate the body in a way that's kind of, we call it the midline. That we're kind of slightly hugging in, right? So big toe of that front right foot, and even big toe of the back foot, you feel this slightly kind of hugging in, right? You're squeezing your pelvic floor, you're pulling your belly in. Some of you are adding different arm positions. You know, I love to see that. Okay, big inhale. Right hands go down, right foot goes back. Optional chaturanga here. So first time, you can add a couple push-ups. You know me, I'm a big fan of push-ups. It's an exercise we should all work on mastering. Literally, you're just pushing, right? Getting better at pushing. What if you have to push somebody away? You want to be good at that, okay? Then you meet back in dog. We're kind of doing some fundamentals to start now. You're doing your push-ups. You take your first back bend. Most days, you know me, I do the gentle cobra, all right? Then if I'm feeling good, I go right to the cobra 2. Full cobra, your hips are still on the floor, arms are still bent. I do up dog a lot less. You guys know that. That's my current condition for the last year or 2. Downward dog, and then you're gonna inhale your left leg high. Again, you can step your feet a little closer together, just narrowing your stance. Don't forget that. So we're in our 3-legged dog, no rush, left leg high, you're opening up the hip, kind of circling it for just maybe 10, 20 seconds. And some of you are dropping down, nice, circling your neck. I don't mind if you just come here and use the group energy to do your thing, you know, that's cool. You don't have to listen to anything, okay? All right, now we get the core going, okay? You inhale the left leg high.
Left knee goes to the forehead in plank. So you're shifting from plank to down dog, but you're also bringing the knee in bent, and then you're bringing the leg up and back and straight, right? Left knee goes to the left elbow. You just bring it slightly wide. You start to open up the outer body. So that's called abduction. It's almost like a side plank slightly, or a half moon. Then you inhale it up and then you bring it under. Everyone knows this. Please go at your pace. Good day. Do a lot of them. Go slow. Get these quality contractions. Don't forget you can do it on the knee. There's another thing. If I'm going for a strong exercise, I pretty much always do this in some form. The leg has to extend back, so which means the hip, the glute has to fire really strong. The knee has to straighten max knee extension. The ankle flexes, and then I bring it in. So max hip flexion, knee flexion too, right? So the compound extension and the compound flexion with the strong weight-bearing arms, really good stuff. Okay, so it looks like some of you are already done. We'll all meet with the left foot forward, no rush. It's Anjanasana, so first big back bend. If you're feeling good, right arm up. If you're feeling great, both arms up. Deep breathing, please. Press your feet down. So strong, it's almost like you're starting to lift up slightly. Add intuitive movements if you need. More intuitive movements on sticky, achy days. More strong discipline, strength on kind of good, energetic days. Nice. And high lunge is fine too, right? I'm just bringing you down on the knee for now. Nice little movement in there. Okay, your big inhale reaches you up higher, and then the big exhale, hands down, left foot back. Now you get the push-ups again. I challenge you guys, do push-ups every day for a month. You'll be able to do push-ups so easier in the 30th day. You won't even recognize, you'll feel so much different in your upper body. I know because I've done it. I told you most days I do push-ups, and if you do them days and days in a row, man, you feel so, it's almost counterintuitive. You think you start to be sore and achy, and that'll happen in the journey. But that, 10th day, the 20th day, you're like, whoa, I can rep them out. And you thought you'd be sore or weak because you did them so many days. There's only about 60% of body weight in a plank form, so it's not that much weight. So let's come to downward facing dog, please. And I want you to try something here. You're going to lift your heels in down dog. And I want you to think squatting, but in dog. So you bend your knees and you kind of drop your hips towards your heels. You keep your arms in dog, your arms and chest in dog, but you kind of squat in dog. And then you straighten your legs and push your heels down. So if you're new, you watch me here. I can't do it very well because I got the Achilles injury, right? So I'm going here and then boom. 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 Got it? Last few. Okay, no rush. You get your first big hamstring stretch. Walk your feet slowly to the front of your mat, finding an inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Remember, Saturdays, I teach a little bit more assertive, right? I kind of boom, right? Move you through it. Then you're in the next posture, the forward bend. It's called Uttanasana. You kind of get a little break because your chairs, lunges, and squats are coming. All right, and then boom, you're right into the first chair posture, please. All right, do you do feet hips width distance? Do you do feet together, slightly wide turned out? All of them, it depends on the context of the person and time. Do it how you don't do it as much, okay? Arms up, please. And what I want you to do is the hands today. I want you to arms up and flick your fingers away. So this is finger extension, okay? So you're flicking the fingers away. You're in chair, your arms are up, and you're just flicking your fingers. Flick them, flick them, flick them. Do them fast too. I want you to move the body fast sometimes. Okay, so you're bending the knees, straighten the arms more, please. Come on, bend the knees. You got to take a seat, guys, in the chair, please. And then you're flicking your fingers away. Come on, flick your fingers. I can see some of you, you're not flicking your fingers. At least hide from me, all right? I know all of you can flick your fingers.
Okay, big inhale. Slowly stand up, squeeze the butt, step the left foot back, reach your arms forward today, okay? So lunge. You just move your legs a lot. Let's hold the lunge now, get nice and deep here. You can do warrior one if you want. I mix it up in my practice. Arms forward, right? So a little different today. Watch me here, watch the wrists. So what I'm doing here is this, yogis. I'm slowing it down, but I want you to go fast. I want you to straighten your arms forward and move at the wrist. This is flexion extension. It's dynamic strengthening and release. Come on. You're not flopping them like this. You're using muscle. You see the difference? I'm not doing this. My fingers are engaged and I'm going forward and back. Does everyone see it? Last few. I'm not flopping them like a spaghetti noodle, okay? My arms are straight, my hands are engaged, and I'm moving like that. You see it? Okay? Step forward, inhale your arms up, please. Exhale your hands behind your lower back. Inhale, lift your heart here. Forward bend, just take 1-2 breaths. I meant to say, just forgot it. You cross your ankles if you wanted, okay? So it would be a different stretch. All right, go slow. Inhale, stand up, please. You know, you're on your own. You can hold the forward bend as long as you want. I don't want you to over forward bend though. Okay, step your right foot back, please. Does everyone feel it in their forearms, that wrist movement? You know where that's from? Boxing. That's a boxing technique to strengthen the wrist because they're always hitting and they have to have their wrist really strong. Okay, so here we go, arms forward. Again, go for it. Come on, you're good. You know how long boxers do this? 5-10 minutes straight. Okay, we're the wimpy yogis only doing it for like a minute. Okay, so here you go. Go, boom. See that? Close your eyes if you can. Go into a meditation. Stimulate your wrist much faster, more complex than you normally do. Bend the knee though. Get in your lunge. Come on. So Brian, we're in lunge right now. There you go. Oh, come on, Darlene. You got to move those wrists. That's my mom. I can pick on her. Does everyone feel that in the forearms? You're going like this, right? Look. Man, I can feel that. I did it last night and I can feel it a little bit. All right, listen, stand up at the top of your mat. Boom, inhale, arms up. You can feel it running down your forearms, hopefully. Intertwine the opposite pinky behind, please. Okay? Step your opposite foot in front. I think I saw 1 or 2 of you do that. And then take the forward bend. So we did the wrist, we did the finger flicking, right? So that's the extensors of the fingers. All right, let's keep it going now. Let's rise up slowly. Boom, step 1 foot open to the back of your mat. The goddess. Think of it like the chair pose, but a different angle. Usually it's called the transverse squat in biomechanics, or the sumo squat, sometimes they call it. Arms wide, please. Now get low, come on. Don't let your knees buckle in. Here you press the outer edges of your feet down, okay? Watch the right palm up to the back. Watch the left palm down to the back. You see how my arms are rotating in opposite ways? And then I switch. And then I switch, and then I close my eyes. And I really feel the arms. So as my right palm goes down to the back, my left palm goes down, and it's the opposite. Up to the back, down to the back. Okay, last few.
Don't forget this shoulder opener, yogis. I used to save this mostly for gentle yoga, but it's really unique and fantastic. The arms are always working in a spiral, transverse, twist, whatever you want to call it, rotation. But we don't really do enough in yoga or in any fitness for it. And this is so unique. Don't forget this one. All right. It's really powerful.
Go slow. Straighten your legs, turn your right toes out, turn your left toes to the right. Got to do our triangles regularly, guys. Palms forward. Notice my feet are pretty wide. Go slow. Drop your right hip down. Lengthen out. I'm not going to have you hold it long. I'm not even going to say any cues. I want you to practice applying the cues you've learned.
I want you to almost think about it like, you know how they teach kids all this information, but then they make them practice applying it. It's called a test. So imagine you're doing a triangle right now and I'm watching you and I'm saying, okay, you have to apply all the things I've said 1,000 times to you now. And I'm going to grade you on it. And then you're going to get a number that shows how much you're learning, what percentage of it you're learning. And then, so that, think about it like that. All right. I don't give you anything. Pretend once in a while on a good day like you're being tested and apply it all. Because that actually happens if you want to be a yoga teacher sometimes, right? Okay, let's come back up and let's do our second side. Ashtanga is 5 breaths. That's 30 seconds. You know, you're a yoga teacher. You want to be a yoga teacher, right? And if you have a good trainer, there's 20 of you in the training, and then you have to get up in front of everyone and do the pose. And then the teacher, the main teacher, picks you apart in front of everyone. Sorry, yogis, I don't know if I lost you here. Okay, there we go. Some of the main cues to remember is this active posture, but also relaxed. You're trying to lengthen as much as possible. Find your midline, you know, activate, but relax. It's legs first.
Go slow, please. Turn to the right. Rise up. We're going Revolve Triangle. We haven't even done a real big twist. I'm starting you in Revolve Triangle and the big twist. You might have to approach it a little different than you normally do. Be easy. Right hip back. Inhale, lift the heart. Start to hinge. I am now facing my right leg, my first leg. I'm hinging. I already did multiple forward bends. I'm not going to really have you hold there. We over forward bend in yoga, right? So I'm going to inhale, half lift, left hand down, half lift, yogis. I'm not down here. I turn the chest up, open to the right. Maybe my right arm goes up and open. Boom, right into Revolve Triangle.
Personally, I think the Revolve Triangle is a lot more difficult for the average person, right? So don't try to force the range. Think about engaging your legs and lengthening better and feeling how your pelvic girdle relates to your legs and core, rather than just seeing if I can twist deeper, okay? So Stephen, you're in the open hip. I'm just making sure if you're doing that again, that's okay. But
we did the first round. I call this open hip triangle, right? We're here. Now we're here. Okay? But if you're doing your thing, that's cool. Okay, rise up, go slow.
Triangle, second side, revolved. Left foot in front of you. For most of us, lift the chest, hinge. It's all regular. So I'm just leaving out some of the little nuances. You gotta, even if the yoga teacher doesn't slow you down, that's part of the practice. You have to start to apply. Not only the cues and the alignment, but the things you're learning, like slow down. You're trying to remember to breathe better. Close your eyes if you can. That's the intermediate. I was doing a meditation yesterday and my girlfriend took a picture of me. I had earplugs in, a blindfold on, and my mouth taped shut. And I did my 20 something minute meditation there. It's pretty amazing if you've never tried it. Basically, it's called sense withdrawal meditation. Your eyes are out of the picture, your ears are out of the picture, and your mouth as well. And you're just sitting there breathing in the nose in trance. Pretty cool if you've never done it. And you're basically trying to mimic that, is my point, in practice. Take sense withdrawal, right? When you're done, slowly rise up. You can step to the front of your mat, please. We're going through a couple classic postures after the wrist work and the arm stuff. The Warrior 3, it's called. You did your lateral hinge, you did your twist. If you can do standing splits, if you can do handstand hop, this is on the table. Left foot hovers, go for it, boom. We're in our Iyengar Hatha mode right now, working our poses, but I still want to see emphasis on your movements and your transitions. Now, yogis, the top hip has to drop down, all right? Whatever leg is lifting, I call the top hip here. Got to drop it down. So we're doing the posture you're going to be doing for years and years, whether it's fitness or yoga, you do your hinge practice. You got to be excellent at bending over. Your body has got to be used to it because you got to do it every day in the house. And we do it on one leg because you're really stabilizing all those little muscles firing all up the joints through the core. On a good day, you take it to standing splits. On a great day, you hover your hands in standing splits. If you're having fun, you go for some handstand hops, and then you hold it at the wall. Okay? The reason we're going through the fundamentals today, guys, we didn't do it on Thursday. We did a weird practice on Thursday. A lot of you were here, really weird practice, okay? So you stand up, you shake it out for a moment, and then you're gonna do your second side. So right foot hovers, more focus, more time, more discipline on your weaker side. So left foot down, right leg lifts up. Take your time, no rush. Oh, your other triangle? Oh, Karen, yeah, sorry. I might have messed up. If I forget something, I might have had too much caffeine this morning. I might have missed the side of one pose there. There was a vendor giving out these free cold brew coffees last week down the pier, and I got a couple of them, and man, they're strong. So I'm having my last one this morning. Most of you is still going, 1 or 2 of you is done. I'll give it another few moments. So there's your hinge practice and that first big balance, right? I want to go to the bent knee balance now. We're almost done with standing postures, okay? But remember, functional exercises on the feet. That's when you need strength. You're on your feet all day. Laying on your back is therapeutics, rehab more, okay? Let's rise up. Shake it out, please. It's chair posture, but figure 4 chair. All right, so you came from the deep side bend, the twist, and we're back in the forward bends. Chair. Third round of chair, really, right? Left knee lifts, turn the inner shin up. Now you want extra strength, you just hold here. I never even rest the foot. You see the space here? I hold here. I bend the knee deeper, and I lift this up higher. That's super power figure 4 chair. Most days I let you rest the ankle. Pick one, hold it and breathe. If you want to hinge more, flattening the chest on the thigh, the shin. We got all regulars today. You guys all practice yoga as much as I do. Now just notice, if your left leg's the one that's bent and crossed, that hip can dip down a lot. So remember I said be aware of how your legs work with your pelvis and your core. Once you get really deep into the yoga practice, you're always kind of studying that relationship. Yoga means relation, right? How is your core relating to your hip stability, relating your legs to your feet? And you're feeling that energetic connection develop and enhance always in all the postures, okay? Second side, please. Inhale, posture, side to side work right now. Okay. Right ankle atop left knee. Don't worry, back bend's coming right after this soon. Okay. You're almost done there. I want you to notice which side are you better at. Is your left leg stronger, weaker here? Hold the weaker side a little bit longer if you can. Lengthen your side bodies a little. Notice if you start to get that kind of side body asymmetry crunching. Sit low. Now, where's the weight? In the heel, the toe too much? Equal distribution of the weight. Notice if your knee also goes too far forward. So if your left leg's down, that left knee can creep really far forward. About knee over toe, let's say. Looks good. Last few moments. It's weird to think that that can be in half moon, right? That can be like a half moon type position, whether it's revolved or open hip. Most people wouldn't recognize it as being in a similar category as half moon work, but it is, right? The outer leg is pressing down, it's outer leg, right? One is bending, but the chest is not neutral. So it is a little different, but it's still in that same kind of category of balance, outer thigh tension. It's a really nice position because you get the strength and the stretch as well.
Slowly stand up. Last part here, guys. I want to do the toe balance today. There's many ways to do it. I'm going to mention a few ways. We'll take it down to crow after. Final balance pose, the 3 in a row. Lift the heels. Arms forward if you want. It's a little easier. Bend the knees go forward. The chest does not go forward. You just brought your chest forward. Now we keep the chest up, okay?
In warrior 3 and in the chair, your chest is going forward, okay? In this one, I want to see that chest upright. And then what you do is you straighten your legs, but you keep your heels up and you can reach your arms up. You can add things like twisting and even a little side bend. But I want to keep the heels lifted for another good 30, 45 seconds if you can. And then you bend the knees a little bit more. So you go into what they call the toe balance chair. And I want to feel all the shaking in the feet. It's very important you recognize the balance with the heel down strengthens like the arches. It's more like the foot, not the toes, really. I mean, you do get the toes, some of us, but this is really focused on strengthening your toes. And that can change how you walk, which can change everything. You got to have some exercise that strengthen your toes. So what have I been doing? I have a hurt foot, right? I have a hurt ankle, which is making the sole. So I've been taking a towel. And in the last 2 days, I've been bunching it up under my toes like this, strengthening my toes and arch. Okay, remember that from our toe and foot rehab. Okay, take it down nice and slow. If you'd like crow position, hands plant. You can do headstand, handstand, hop and set. Elbows hug in, shift forward. Boom. We haven't done crow in a week or two. Big toes touch, heels pull up, breathe. If you're working a more advanced posture, don't be shy now. We are going weight bearing in the arms. All right, you know the deal. Nice, nice. Some of you can take it nice. Some of you are doing some yogi squat variations. And remember, sometimes I like to have you shift in and out of crow. You know, crow is a posture you always hold, right? Remember the idea of looking for spaces in the practice that you always kind of get into it and hold. You're not really working in between.
So what does that mean in this situation? You're kind of going here, crow, squat, Slow it down. Crow. Squat. It's a little different approach. It's kind of fun. And then you do that with a one-legged crow. You go all the way to headstand and back too, right? It's a nice little option. Down dog is next. We're staying in the arms. We're gonna try something today. This is something I do all the time, but I don't really teach it that much. It is safe, but it's kind of funky. The alignment is tough. So what they call is a shoulder push-up. This is called a shoulder push-up. Athletes do this too, right? Some people call it a Hindu push-up. Watch. I bend my elbows. They do go a little bit out, a little. I tap my forehead and I go back up. Notice my body doesn't change. I tap my head kind of between my thumbs and I come back up. You see it? A few more if you can. Now notice I'm not going forward. I'm trying to keep the chest back toward the thighs and dog. My heels are lifted. My knees are slightly bent. Last few. Overhead push-up, yogis. That's your upper chest.
We always have the elbows in and the chest really forward in our push-ups. You're kind of trying the opposite right now. The elbows can go a little wide, but you can also, you're not letting them go too wide. Last few. If you can't do it, what do? You bend an inch and then you straighten. So we're going strong here. Okay. Downward dog, optional vinyasa. Okay, and I want to try one more round of something a little different. This is a little fitnessy, but we can't be narrow-minded. As the lead here, I have to make sure we're exploring all realms of the body and keeping an open mind. So come to plank, please. Bring your hands like this in plank. So you're in a narrow grip plank. Some people call it a diamond grip plank because your hands are kind of like a diamond. Little challenge, shift more forward. Your chest is in front of your hands. Your hands are under your heart. You're like this. Bend your elbows a little. Straighten your elbows a little. We're doing a set of diamond push-ups. Try it. Oh, you can do them on the knees, right? Let me show you just in case you're confused.
Here, I'm in the diamond. Look, I shift forward. Watch. My elbows kind of hug in right now. Again, I do them a lot, guys. I'm pretty good at push-ups. On my best days lately, I can do, almost 100 push-ups straight, right? So that's only my best days. On pretty good days, about 50. Yeah, that's how much it changes, okay? You want to get good, be more well-rounded. Don't do the chaturangas only linear right here, okay? Because then you're weak everywhere else. Now, you go down a little bit, right? You go an inch. You kind of keep your shoulders back and down. You get good at it, you always tap your chest to your hands. You know how the yogis say never go below halfway? Never go below halfway. That's such a horrible cue. I get it if you're saying it to beginners. In the beginning, don't go below halfway. Maybe. I always go all the way, pretty much, unless I'm hurting. My push-ups are less range if I'm not feeling good. My body's hurting, okay? So how'd that feel? Pretty interesting, right? Take a little break if you need, drop down, roll out your wrists and your shoulders. We're still on the arms. This is it. We did the standing. Now we're in the middle. We're making our way down soon. I want to do the side plank. We did this on Thursday. I want to repeat it. It's a thing I've been using a lot as of recently, but I'm going to bring you down to your forearms. Watch me here. This is good for all levels. Super tough, but also doable. Watch. Left forearm in. Turn open to the left. Side plank on your left knee and your forearm. Watch what I'm going to do. Beginners, hold here. This is excellent. Work here in the side body, the obliques. You're feeling good? Lift your right leg, pause. Lower it down. Lift it up. You're feeling really good. Dip your hips down and your knee down. Lift your hips and your knee, pause. Let me show you guys. different angle. I'm not here. I'm here. Do you see my body posture and stack? It's almost like a hip thrust forward. Slightly. Go. This is the end of strengthening pretty much. I'm going to have you do one ab thing and bridges or wheels, and then you're pretty much done, okay?
You want stable hips? This is a fantastic exercise, okay? It's very doable and, like I said, tough for even advanced. If you slow down enough and you're disciplined about your alignment, the line, not the hunching forward. Nice. Yep, second side when you're done there. Basically, try to train till failure. You know, I don't do the aesthetic hypertrophy type working out. I don't do chest and tries on Monday and legs on Tuesday and then pulls and back on Wednesday and then legs on Thursday. I don't do that. I kind of do, you know me, I do all body regularly. Now I do have some structure, but if I get you guys once, twice a week, we got to kind of stimulate the whole body in a sense. I kind of do something legs every day, something upper body every day, something core every day. All right, that's kind of how I do it. I don't do legs twice a week. All right, I don't do push twice a week. Come on, work your side body now, guys. We did our triangle. That was the stretchy one, let's say it. The range builder. This is the work. I want to remind you, you're going to get a stretch before we keep going here. So push, push. A stretch is coming.
All right, now take it down to the chest when you're done. This is the big chest opener. I usually say this for stretch class and gentle, but we need to do it more. Right arm out, lay in your chest. Roll to the right, just 3-4 breaths, right ear down. In case you need this, the other visual, look at me here. Pretend I'm on the floor, right arm out. Roll to the open to the left. Relax your head down, breathe, top leg can go behind it. We didn't do like open your hip and flip dog and that type of stuff. You're doing it here.
Eventually, please go to the second side. And this is part of our twisting today too, right? You wouldn't really think of this posture as much as a twist, but it's a big one, a little different than the average twist in yoga. So here you're getting ready for your last go here, right? So it's like abs and bridge or wheel. So even though it seemed like we did some good abs, the side plank, the knee to forehead, hip flexors, and then earlier the obliques. So we got to get the abs pretty good here. All right. So take your time, come back to center, optional up dog, cobra, or child pose. Maybe a quick down dog, just kind of something to neutralize the side planks and the big twist, side body twist. Okay, then you go slow. You push your butt to your heels, and we're going to drop down to seated, swing it around.
So this is something I've been trying to work in. It's the high boat, low boat twist at the top. If you want to do anything else, you know, like if you want to stay down here, If you want to stay down here, you can. We didn't have yoga core this week, right? I had to take the day off because of my ankle. But the high boat, low boat twist. You can start in high boat. You resist flopping down. Exhale up. Right knee, left shoulder. Inhale, left knee, right shoulder. Inhale, left knee, right shoulder. So I'm twisting at the top. Okay?
If you can't, you got to work on pushing yourself here, yogis. The lowering down is the key point, the negative. Try to slow down going from high boat to low boat. If you want to do a little different ab workout, that's okay. This is your brief, isolated abdominal moment of class. And I was giving you the push-up challenge. Remember, if you're trying to measure, like break your record, go for push-ups, if you want to keep yourself honest, the rule is you're allowed to hold plank as long as you want, but you can stop, right? But you can't go to dog. So if you're doing a push-up challenge where you're trying to see how many you can do straight, say you do 30 and you need a little break, you can hold high plank, but you're not allowed to shift back to dog. As soon as you shift back to dog, the count starts over. So that's the rule in the push-up challenges where they're trying to see how many push-ups you can do or push-up test. So in case you're going to try this push-up challenge I gave you, try to do them every day a little bit. If you're trying to measure, that's what you do. Like you measure, you try to beat your record. You can hold high plank, but you can't go back to dog. As soon as you go back to dog, the count stopped. All right. Lay on your back, please. Final posterior core. Think about it like front and back body. Okay, here in the end. Bridge, wheel. If you want to come up and do a different back bend, you kind of did camel earlier. You did Anjanasana. We just did the one on the chest, the open shoulder. That's a back bend too. So kind of something active, I was thinking. Bridge, one-legged bridge would be fantastic if you have it, and wheel if you want to go big. A block between your thighs would be extra. I think everyone knows this. I'm just going to open it for back bending practice. After this, we'll have about 8-9 minutes to unwind. All right. So focus here in the end. All right. Give it your last big go. Everyone knows the cues. Everyone's looking pretty good that I can see. Okay, you got last 45 seconds or so. The idea is to get about 2 to 3 rounds in. You know, we did 1 round of side plank, but here I want 2 to 3 usually. It's your glutes, it's your lower back, your hamstrings, the back body. If you're sitting a lot, those muscles tend to get kind of tight and weak. So we got to remember that. So if you're sitting a lot, you need the bridges, okay? Don't forget there's sliding bridges. I love that one. I don't teach it enough. There is full extended bridge. That's where your legs are straight in bridge, but your shoulders and head stay on the floor. All right, a couple of you, so see quite a few of you going. We'll give you another few moments. So I want you to take your time, right? We did the figure 4 stretch and this chair and revolve triangle. We do not need to do that. We did our triangle, our goddess. Inner thighs have been worked bent and straight leg, gracilis, and very medial line. We do not need to do that. I think hamstrings are pretty good. I tend to think people overstretch their hamstrings. So I think that's good too. So I'm going to do medial and quad. If there's any other stretches you want to do, I'll probably try to get you a twist too, because we need that. So I want to meet on the back. It looks like a lot of you are done. If you're feeling good back bending, just keep going. You do not need to do stretching at the end of every yoga class. All right. I know people who exercise every day for years and never stretch. And then yogis get nervous if we don't do a few stretches at the end, right? So keep going with strength if you're feeling good, please. All right, let's start with the knees into the chest. And I want to do the medial rotation. Think of it like the opposite of a figure 4 stretch, even though it's very similar. So you're going to release your feet pretty wide here, knees bent. You're going to knock your knees to the left. Now, easier, you stay here. The target is my right knee, but going inward. All right? Left foot on the outer right knee if you want more. Go slow, be easy here. Just a few breaths. Try to relax your head and your arms down. Okay, no rush. This is one I don't want you to hold too long. It's the hypermedial rotation, right? So it's that outer hip in a very shortened position here. So take your time and switch sides. Remember, path of least resistance. What does that mean? You're trying to find the movement through the range that is the least achy and like the most comfortable to start. You might as well make it easier on your body if you can. No unnecessary kind of restriction. I have the one with your legs are wide. Don't forget that there is the very similar variation where the thighs cross completely and the knees drop to that side. And that is more of a TFL traction. This is a little bit more of the glute medius because we're about to do the TFL next. Thanks, Jasmine. All right, so listen, I got 2 more stretches for you. If you want to do things like plow, restorative bridge, restorative fish, you can. You don't need to do my stretches here. This next one is kind of like a restorative bridge. All right, so you're going to finish up your medial rotation. You're going to shake it out. I want that one quad stretch. So you take your time, you roll onto your left side, and then the right hand reaches back to grab the right foot. How do we stretch the quad, yogis? You got to bend the knee deep. We didn't sit on our heels and lean back. All right, we didn't do anything where we're really going here. Not even like a yogi squat too much today. So heel to butt, knee behind you, lower belly and lower ribs pull in, and you feel it right in that upper hip thigh area. Last few breaths. For your body, right? You switch sides when you're ready. So yogis, you know, you're going to take your time here, right? You're going to finish up your quad stretch, and you got about, 2.5 minutes before I want to guide you into meditation here, and or a minute to two probably, right? So if you want one last twist, it wasn't a big twisty class today. Did a few, but not a lot. So if you want a reclining twist or a seated twist, that might be nice. What we just did could be considered a core release kind of. Um, if you want to do, I mentioned plow, legs up in the air, shoulder stand. If there's anything else, we didn't do any isolated neck stuff. If you want to throw a block under your neck, or what's one more pose that we didn't do that you wish we did that kind of feels intuitively right? You do that. You're closing up your physical practice so you can go to the more subtle, deeper layers. Thank you. It just says iPhone, so I'm not sure who that is, but thank you. So remember, yogis, I talked about going into the Dharma master classes. They're like 2 hour plus classes. It actually says starts at noon, and the ending is to be determined. It doesn't have an ending. But with the master, it's funny. It's like there's 50 yogis in there, and everyone's self-practicing. Dharma never even really gives much instruction. He'll say inversion time, and then he'll say deep flexibility time, and then he'll say leg strengthening time. But even then, people are still doing headstands when he said leg strengtheners. But so, that's the point. I'm always trying to give you some of that where you're really there. No one's controlling you. You're really on your own, practicing that intuitive approach to the body. Okay. And sometimes it's in strength, sometimes it's in inversions in my class, sometimes it's in release, right? So listen, guys, we're getting into meditation. And what I'm going to do today is guide you in, and then I'm just going to sign out, and you're going to sit there until noon meditating, right? Just kidding. You're going to do 5-10 minutes if you can. And I want you to discipline. If you never sit and meditate, you got to be careful, because that might be what you need. If you always skip the Shavasana, all right? So you can lay or sit. You can do some breathing in the beginning. Sometimes I feel like I need some extra breathing to settle in. Some days I do extra mental work, gratitude meditation. Some days I do mantra here, where you're oming, humming, chanting. But eventually I do try to go passive, where I'm not busy in meditation. So you use one of those active forms to slow down the body, the mind, get more subtly self-aware in the energetic form. But then you got to let that go too, and think more nothingness and trance and quiet, calm, still body and mind. And then I kind of just run through one time in the body, and it's almost like I'm powering down. It's like there's light switches in the legs, and I flip the switch off, and I see the legs power down, deactivate. And then the abdomen, same, I flip the switch. It goes from on, bright, to off and dark. And then I just go through the face, the jaw. I'm just kind of running through, powering down everything. It's kind of like the circuit breakers, right? And then there's this master circuit breaker, the big one I kind of turn off, and it's in the brain. A little metaphor I use to kind of shut it all down. Master circuit breaker is off, and the whole thing is off. And then it's like my consciousness is just sitting inside this body that's turned off. So please stay here as long as you can, yogis, and always exit the meditation mindfully. I appreciate you guys still showing up and working hard and trusting me. I'll be here tomorrow at 7:45, a little bit simple and slower. 7:45 to 8:45 on Sundays, all right? Have a great day. If I don't see you, namaste, yogis.